3i Atlas, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the biggest topics being discussed on the internet. And for good reason, because this thing is behaving in such weird and strange ways that nobody can explain what's happening with this thing. You have scientists looking into 3i Atlas. You have astrophysicists such as Avi Loeb, who has been talking about 3i Atlas since its discovery, and even stating that on the Loeb scale right now, this thing is sitting at 4, being a 4 or 40% of chance that this thing is advanced technology. Now, Avi Loeb even made a comment stating that 3i Atlas comes from the same place where the WOW signal was originated. It's basically a radio frequency that was captured by a radio telescope in the 70s. It was a 72-second long audio frequency. Now, the video, there's a couple of videos that I want to show you today. And these two videos happen to be two people that stated that they remote viewed 3i Atlas and they both came to the same conclusion. Now, keep in mind, these two people had remote sessions apart from each other, probably not even at the same time. There were different sessions at different time zones in different places. And they both came to the same conclusion that this thing is indeed an alien spaceship. But hey, don't take it from me. Let's watch the video for a moment. Before we do that, I want to give you just a quick update of what Avi Loeb is saying about 3i Atlas. So let's go ahead and watch this video for a moment.
And joining us now for more is Harvard astrophysicist Dr. Avi Loeb. It's great to have you back, Dr. Loeb. So at this point, there's worldwide interest in this thing, and NASA still hasn't released the photos. How is that possible?
Well, either NASA is not functional, or there is a reason for that. And it's really unfortunate because that should have been the sharpest image we've got of this object. With a pixel resolution of 30 kilometers. It was taken on October 2nd, 2025, and here we are, haven't seen it yet. The best picture we have so far is from the Hubble Space Telescope, 3 times worse in resolution. And what we noticed from the Hubble Space Telescope is there is a glow extending from the object towards the sun. This was confirmed in an image that was released just yesterday from a ground-based telescope. And it's very puzzling because this extension of the object towards the sun is 10 times longer than it is wide.
It's not like nobody is working at NASA because the government has been shut down for the past couple of weeks. So I'm sorry, I don't buy it. Do you think it's suspicious that NASA hasn't made an effort to put these photos out there?
It's strange because the principal investigator of this camera called HiRISE on board the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter is not affiliated with NASA. He is at the University of Arizona. And obviously, they can still analyze the data and release it scientifically. There is no need for a press release. The European Space Agency already released their data, which was much worse quality, because, that's the way things are in science. You make the data available to other scientists so they can look into it.
Okay, so ESA, what you're saying, ESA, the European Space Agency, they released the images that we're now showing you. But NASA has not, and NASA's got their hands on the best imagery of whatever this thing is. So, Dr. Loeb, you get the conspiracy theory that's now developing. If this thing is a comet, maybe NASA, or if this thing is an alien spacecraft, maybe NASA is deliberately covering that up by not releasing those photos. You see that, right?
Well, that's one possibility. It's also possible they are not competent or they don't want to do the work while they are in shutdown. I'm not sure what the actual reason is, but we should be guided by data, and I very much look forward to them releasing it so we can analyze it, because the previous data was already very anomalous. There are 8 anomalies of this object that we cannot fully understand. And, if it happens not to be a comet, but something else, we should know about it. The White House should know about it.
Yeah, we should all know about it. Has the White House been briefed to your knowledge?
Not that I know of, but I did brief Congress people, and I really hope that President Trump knows everything there is to know about this object.
And just quickly, if it does swing around the sun and starts heading toward Earth, that will confirm that this is intelligent life and intelligently controlled. What do we do then?
We don't have a protocol, and there should be some kind of an organization that looks into interstellar objects of this type, because it's a threat to the future of humanity. It could be a black swan event with a low probability but huge implications, and so far such a threat was not attended to, politically speaking. And I do believe that we should examine all the facts and decide without any assumptions about the nature of this object.
Yeah, and this thing could land on Earth in early 2026. Is that accurate, if it wanted to?
It could, yeah. It could do a maneuver when it's closest to the sun. It could release probes that will visit us.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The latest updates about 3i Atlas coming directly from Avi Loeb. Now, listen, I don't know about you, but I don't buy it. I mean, I find it very strange that the government would shut down NASA right at the point in time where 3i Atlas is flying by Mars. Like, what are the odds, right? The number is 1 in 10 million, okay? 1 in 10 million are the odds, the chances that the government would shut down NASA right when 3i Atlas is the closest to Mars. 1 in 10 million. It's just nuts, okay? Now look, coincidences, of course, they exist. But come on. Like, I am not buying it, okay? I don't know about you, but I just find it weird. I just find it weird. Next, I mentioned that there were 2 people who remote viewed 3i Atlas and stated that this thing is not a rock, but it's actually a mothership. So let's go ahead and watch the first clip, and we'll come back and discuss a little bit, and then watch the second clip, because this is super interesting.
I remote viewed the objects first, and I basically was determining that it was more of a craft, more of a mothership.
Okay.
I'm not the only one who, came up with this idea. Like, I already basically expressed it to other people I know. And a lot of other remote viewers have also been saying that, yeah, I can confirm whatever you've been seeing. And then more recently, I was in touch with a person, like a scientist. So I spoke to an astrophysicist who worked at CERN. And she opened up to what she experienced there. And I was quite amazed by the content. So indirectly, she was introduced to me from a person in the intelligence world, and she felt compelled to address it. She was more of a consultant working for CERN.
Okay.
And as a young person, she was basically at the same time shocked and excited about what she saw and what she heard. And the content of that was at CERN, they've used their collider to open up a portal to communicate with extraterrestrial beings.
Whoa.
And one of them are the occupants from 3i Atlas.
Okay. That's an incredible statement. So you remote viewed 3i Atlas. Did you do that on your own, or were you tasked with this assignment?
I was tasked by the same intelligence people I'm working with to look at the object, because those had concerns. But what I saw as a remote viewer was a mothership with occupants on board, and they were mostly Draco reptilian occupants.
Okay.
That's what I saw as a remote viewer. And
that was corroborated by other remote viewers seeing the same thing.
That's correct. Yes.
The ship and Draco.
That's correct. One of them is John Vivanco, who is also a known remote viewer. Mm-hmm. And he announced it publicly as well. And other people from the Stargate program as well. So they basically all came up with the same idea. And when I was asked to talk to this astrophysicist, I was kind of surprised because I had no contacts at CERN directly. And then all of a sudden I was talking to this woman. And she was telling me that the portal that was opening up to speak to those beings was already in existence, like almost like in a boardroom setting. So they show up and then they interact with scientists and communicate directly with them.
Okay, wait. So I know this is some of our audience might understand what you're saying, but to be clear, CERN already has a room and a technology to open a portal to talk to extraterrestrials.
Yes.
But recently, they also used it to communicate with the beings on 3I Atlas.
That's correct.
Okay, go on.
So those beings introduced themselves as such, like I said, we are the occupants of this object. I don't know exactly what were the exact communication to address the object, if they say it was 3I Atlas or something else, I don't know. But somehow the scientists knew it was from 3I Atlas for what was coming.
Okay.
And they did not show up physically. They show up as holograms. Now, I didn't really know how they look like. So I didn't really ask the question, which is kind of silly of me, but they apparently showed up as holograms. They looked tall, that's what she said. And they communicated telepathically with every single scientist in the room.
Wow.
And they all got the same message, which is that they are coming in peace and they're just trying to come over here to gather all the star seeds of this planet. That's pretty much, to me, it's kind of a cryptic message. I don't know what that means exactly, but that's how they introduce themselves as to come here.
So when you remote viewed, did you pick up on that intention as well?
Yes and no. I believe that the direct reptilians, will be coming to Earth, but as to know what the exact intent, that I could not really say.
Well, this is an extraordinary development.
It is, yeah. So you know that 3 Atlas is always like shaping up. So right now it's actually on its way to the sun. And it's going towards Mars, and the directions of it is actually getting closer to Mars. So it's changing directions.
That's unusual.
We know that it changed colors, right? So it went from red hue colors to green colors, which is the presence of nickel, without the presence of iron, which is not seen in any comets or in the space in general. And it had a light on the front of it, which was not as a coma. The light was coming from the front, and it was shining over 100 kilometers ahead. But the energy field emanating from that comet is too strong and too powerful to be just a regular natural comet, basically.
You're calling it a comet, but...
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it is.
What? I mean, this is just insane. Okay, if what this guy is saying is true, that will change everything we know about, our planet, our universe, our own existence, everything. It will change everything. Okay, now I really want this thing to be true. I want 3I Atlas to be an alien mothership, okay? You might be asking why? Well, because someone, I think it was even Mindseed TV, who said, life is too mundane. We need something exciting, all right? And hey, what's more exciting than an alien spaceship coming towards Earth? I don't know about you, but hey. Now, of course, if they're friendly, that's a plus. But what's going to happen if they're not? As Avilov says, we don't have a protocol. We are not prepared to handle alien invasion. Hell, we weren't even prepared for COVID-19. I'm just saying. Okay, but hey, don't believe this guy? No worries, I got you covered. Because John Vivanco stated the same thing. Let's go ahead and watch that video for a moment.
All right, so John, I'm imagining you had a little bit of time to have this thing remote viewed. So what?
Yeah.
I know it's a lot. Yeah, go ahead.
I'd rather postulate and kind of circle my finger around it than actually point to it. Because it's like, all right, we live in this bubble on this planet. the bubble is so tight, so constrained. People believe only what their authorities tell them, and the screens that the authorities are telling them through, that they're looking at, are the method of control, of thought, of understanding, of everything. The world, what's outside of this, has got nothing to do with what they tell you. Nothing. And I know people are starting to open up and expand to this because the government is playing a little bit of theater game with them at the moment. And so I think people are maybe a little bit more ready to grasp onto an edge of it. Now, these are things that I have known for a very long time, being in the position that I've been in. I will just tell you that the data that we have on this current object is that it is an unnatural object. It's controlled by a specific type of being who are with that object, who are moving towards this area or location because there's something going on just outside of us that is, I would just say, sort of in contention with other groups that don't have to do with humans directly, but have to do with humans as the cavemen on the planet who are waving their sticks at it, and the resource on the planet that they perceive them as. If people have watched our episodes before, we have gotten a lot of things that happen out there that are battle related with different species, with remote viewing. A lot of people have spoken about this too. Other remote viewers have looked at this too. And we're talking about big projects. We're not talking about like just singular remote viewers. We're talking about big projects with analysis. And we have one of these situations where there is contention, where there are different races of beings who are needing, trying to control different aspects of the caveman planet, of what they perceive as theirs. So that's what the data was implying. It was literally about these other beings coming in because they're in a fight with ones that are like here as well over this space. And that's what we're seeing in the data with this.
So I'm just curious if you have this information, but are the beings that are on this ship more humanoid like us, or are these full on like
talk about this? It starts with the R word.
Oh,
which I'm not going to let spill out of my mouth.
No, we don't have to say that word.
Then we go down into like this other zone, and it's like, no. Okay, so the R word on the other side, they're sort of like lighter skinned humanoids, right?
I'm sorry for pausing, but for those who don't know what the R word means, or what he's referring to with the R words, is he's referring to reptilians. Okay. Let that sink in for a moment. That's two people talking about the same thing. And John Vivanco even mentioned that there are other people who also remote viewed 3i Atlas and came to the same conclusion. So what the hell is going on? Okay? That's what I want to know. I guess we just have to wait until the government enables NASA again and we get the highest resolution of this thing, and then maybe we can figure out what it really is. But that brings me to the next topic, because on the previous interview with Martin, well, maybe you guys remember, I created a video about the 2027 prophecy where I was talking about, 2027 being a big date because something big was coming. Lou Elizondo mentioned something about it. Ross Coulthard mentioned something big was coming in 2027, possibly even 2030. And then Jeremy Corbell even stated that 2027 was big because there was something coming. And Jeremy Corbell stated that there was a lie that was being created or was coming, and that the lie was that there was a huge alien mothership coming towards Earth. Okay, if you don't remember, if you haven't seen that video, you can go ahead. It's on my channel. Go ahead and find it. It's 2027 prophecy. Super interesting. But the reason I am stating this, or the reason I'm mentioning this, is because in the previous interview you saw with Martin, he actually talks about 2027 and that this thing will be arriving on Earth or near Earth in 2027. So let's go ahead and watch that for a moment.
Is 3i Atlas the beginning of this journey to this massive change in 2027? What did you remote view, or what have you learned from your contact?
Yes. When I saw 3i Atlas, I basically saw what was yet to come, and all of its potential negative aspects or positive aspect. And then you have the 2027 remote viewing sessions, which to me seemed a bit more positive, and again with these tiered probabilities of AI and open contact. So my first impression was to do with AI, and I believe that AI on its own was not created by humans. It came from the cosmos as intelligence, and it allowed itself to come through the machines that the humans created for us to interact with it.
Okay, so Sebastien, when you're viewing the future, did you see anything else besides AI potentially disrupting us?
Yes, and that's the second part I saw in my remote viewing session, is that humanity really moves up to the next level for sure in 2027, which again will be embracing telepathy and obviously telekinesis. And the shifts that we talked about, like from going from 3D to 4D and 5D, will happen for sure in 2027. I truly believe that human contact with ETs will happen in 2027 and maybe earlier.
Like, holy shit, what do you make out of this, right? I mean, there's so much information about this thing happening right now that you don't even know where to look at, because everywhere where you look, you hear that this thing is actually, intelligence, it's technological, it could be an alien mothership. These guys are talking about this thing being an alien mothership and being inhabited by, beings. What? As crazy as it sounds, right? You gotta think of the possibilities. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you do, please consider liking and subscribing. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think about this? Thanks so much for watching, and I see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.